Would you pay for this gun? No, you wouldn't. Rental systems don't work. Because it violates this rule, you should never take things away from the player he earned by skill, time, or money. If someone buys an item for real dollars, and after 2 weeks you just remove all these items from the game, all players would actually show you the finger and leave the game. So you don't do that. For you it's natural, but this is the main reason why rental systems don't work. Players want to own things they pay for. And with pay, I don't necessarily mean money. I mean money, skill, or time. So here it is, Items earned belong to the player. Not legally, but in the game itself, this is what they like. If they earn something in the game, they like owning it and possess it. They love collecting it. They love collecting hundreds of items. They want to own that stuff. Even brag about it. Look here what I have. You can take a look at World of Warcraft. If someone plays for like 5 or 10 years, the first thing he does when you look into his account is open his bank account. Like all these windows open and all his stuff. Look at this item. I earned that 7 years ago. No one has it, but I still have it. This is what you want to create, right? If someone plays your game for 5 years, he still has items in his inventory which are years old, and he's proud having these. And being proud about having an item in your game means that he will never stop playing your game. It's really easy. So don't take that stuff away, even if it's really old, right? There are ways removing old items from the player if he, does it by his own decision, but this is a different design topic, so we just stay here. So, renting systems remove value of items, it lessens itemization. Itemization means ownership, collecting, and all that. The hesitance to buy and investing in items which just last temporarily. Even let's say you don't have a rental system, you just have permanence. You can sell the consumables. Consumables, the player knows. If I buy that and use it, it's gone. If I buy a permanent, I own it forever. Now, for some reason, you decide to remove an item from the game because it's underbalanced or wrong or whatever you do, and remove the whole item from the game. Players suddenly realize that they no longer have ownership of their items, and they know that whatever I own could be removed by the operator. They no longer feel secure spending money in your game because at some point, hey, they removed that one item, and I feel bad spending money because they might actually remove that as well, right? This is the feeling you have to prevent in the player base. So be careful when you remove items from your player base. Actually, you should not. So, and it includes other systems, not only rental systems, but the bad thing is durability systems, rental systems. Durability systems are systems where you have a sword and it lasts for a certain time until it breaks and it is destroyed, or we have to repair it. It's the same thing. It creates a hesitance to use cool items. Many RPGs, you get this rod of superpower, and you would love to use that, but you don't because you want to save the charges for the really cool boss. But guess when the really cool boss comes in the game? Never. When the player quits the game, he still has this rod unused in his bag. That's not what you want to create, right? So durability system again is the same thing. How to fix it is really easy. Do not use rental systems; they do not work. I have many clients approaching me, specifically clients who want to do free-to-play first-person shooters. Don't do rental systems; they simply don't work. Do not use durability systems. There are other systems you can use instead, so they lessen player willingness to actually use these items. Do not take items away from players. Never do this. Not even seasonal items. If I invested time, skill, or money in an item, I own it. Don't take that away. That's really hard sometimes for designers, but there are ways around that. Make permanence permanent, and that players feel assured that whatever they own, they never lose. So, next one, clickbait. Everybody knows what clickbait is, right? Perfect example, King.com still uses clickbaits. Clickbaits are the evil form, like, no more life. Actually, my game ends, I have to wait until the energy system reloads. So energy systems, they could actually replace that. And I can ask friends, Facebook, or I can pay 99 cents for like 3 life or one kind of move, so it's really expensive. And the button is green. Everybody presses on the green button because the button to continue for free is actually the red X on the top right. That's not a good UI. The UI is designed that people by accident clicks on the 99-cent button. Of course, there's still the pay dialog coming after that, or I can cancel. But when they have a dual currency system, and some of these games have that, It actually says 10 gold to continue, which is a bug. And they give you 50 gold in, at the beginning to play with. There's literally no player I have talked to who not accidentally spent 10 by clicking on this button. Most of these people, I see many people nodding here already. Most people actually click that by accident. Clickbait is really bad. It's, users hate when they fall for that trap. And guess who they blame? Your company, your UI designers. Why can't you fix this sucky UI? Well, they are not stupid. They know you did it on purpose to actually grind away that free currency or currency in general. But this is what happens. Your UI sucks in the user's mind, so your game sucks. This is what users basically go in here. So clickbait should not be used. It's obvious an evil mechanic. The user isn't stupid. They know you're doing this just for making money, so you spoil the fun in the game itself. And ultimately, it lessens conversion lifetime because there are some users quitting the game in frustration. Imagine there's a user who just spent €5 in the game or $5, and this is like the only money he can spend in the game because he doesn't own more money, right? And he saved his last 10 gold bars he has just for this one level. He knows his hearts, and by accident falls for your clickbait. Guess what that user does? He will give up on frustration and quit the game forever. You just lost him, and that's something you should not do. So how to fix it is like the easiest one. Do not use clickbaits. You should make spending money a good experience and not a bad one. If someone pays for your game, it should be the best experience in the world. It should not be a negative one. And I can give you a lot of examples in the real world how the difference is. Guess why? Who has a PC laptop? Hands up. PC laptop, hands up. Okay. Who has an Apple laptop? Hands up. Okay, you know what? 5 years ago, if I would have asked this question, there would be one hand who owns an Apple MacBook. Guess why half of you now own Apple and the other ones own PC? It's really easy. Because when you buy a MacBook in an Apple store, it's an awesome experience. If you buy a PC laptop, the experience sucks really bad. This is the difference, right? It doesn't mean the Mac laptop is a better machine. There are really nice PC laptops out there. No, the experience buying one is much, much better. The same thing you should do in your game. When someone decides to spend money, make it the most awesome experience ever. And don't try to milk your user out of his money for that. So thank you very much. This is a quick overview of the 10 lessons I gave you. Actually, I cheated. There were 11 lessons if you counted that. So I just added one as a bonus. You can actually watch all my dissecting talks on Cover Connect websites about World of Tanks, Battle of Dragons, League of Legends, and the King games. I did 4 of them for now. And if you would do me a favor, and if you have the chance to test out the latest game I worked upon, which is Assassin's Creed Identity by Ubisoft, out on Android and iOS soon, but soft launch in Australia and New Zealand, I would love your feedback. And here's my contact data. You can ask me any questions you like. Okay, I'm open for questions now, and thank you.
Excellent talk, by the way. Now, the floor is open for questions. So, does anyone have questions? Yes.
During your talk, you said you made a game that has about 100 over systems or energy systems. Maybe you know what the game name?
Which has energy systems?
The one that you had the most energy systems, I think.
The Settlers Online.
Sorry?
The Settlers Online.
See.
I know online has the same. So it's like 150 different resources you use up by doing certain things. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Questions?
I have a question. What about combining rental with purchase? So, for example, you have a very high-powered item, but to allow lower-level people to have a taste of it, you offer them a lower price rental, but then there's also a purchasing price which they can own it.
Yeah, a good idea. It circumvents the rental problem. But here's the thing: if the item is expensive, users expect it to perform really well because that's the reason why it is expensive. So if you need to rent out the item to make the purchase more sexier, then the item is wrong. So an expensive item should be something players really work for, and if they buy it, this experience where it's really cool should be worth that money they put into it. If we have to rent out that thing to advertise the item first, you might lose customers who suddenly think, no, that item is not what I expected it to be. And if you have to rent it out to actually make advertising for that, then the item might be quite strong in the first one.
Thank you for your speech. Tell me please, what is the best monetization system by your opinion? What is better to use it in mobile platforms?
There's not one good system. There are a lot of bad ones, as you see, but you can turn them good. Every game needs a specific monetization system, but there are so many common things every game has to have that you can make a set of rules every game has to follow to monetize really well. I have that set of rules. I actually do that with my customer, with my clients. They have access to that. And most games who follow that actually are, successful in terms of monetization. But there's not this one best monetization system out there. It doesn't exist. But every game which monetizes well has a progression system. Every single one. Meaning that if you want to make a game which monetizes well, you must have a progression system. So the common thing between all games who perform really well, all the stuff which all of them have in common, I analyze and put on a rule set. And you can do that yourself if you want to. There's nothing you have to pay me for. It's really easy. And progression system is one of them. And the other thing you have to realize, and this is something many people forget, even the guys who invented it, who were in this room, the Koreans invented free-to-play 15 years ago. And most monetization systems for free-to-play were designed for MMORPGs. And most games who monetize really well adapt a lot of MMORPG systems in order to monetize well. And that should get you thinking, so maybe good monetizing MMORPGs are the way to analyze better than all the other games in order to learn what monetizes good and what doesn't. But there's not this one monetization favorite one. If that would exist, everybody would do it. And then it would actually stop working. So there's not this one golden thing. There are like a whole set of things and they work like this. And then suddenly your machine is in motion. Long answer for a short question. Sorry.
About the mystery boxes, we always speak about the data analysis and these kind of things, and what if we understand the player and in fact use the data analysis to know what they like, what they want, and in fact give them the mystery boxes, but be sure what they have is something they want or what they need.
So you're basically saying you want to adapt the content of the mystery box to that the user actually has a use of most of these items. That's what you're saying. What you're basically saying is that you're redesigning your store to better fit the player's needs. So instead of giving him a box where he gets a random item, why not give him something he really wants and he pays for? Because that's what you're basically saying. You give him a random thing, but he doesn't want that random thing. He just wants one specific item in there, and he would love to pay for it, but you're hindering it for them. Yes, it's the right step in the right direction. Just give him stuff he really needs and not cut in return. But that also violates the rule where it says handle all players equally. Because imagine I open the box and I get this really cool item, yippee, I finally have it, and the other guy who is, let's say, slightly different, and you're mixing his box slightly differently because he has different needs, doesn't get it, but he really wants to have that, although his class doesn't really suit it for this. Suddenly you have an imbalance. If a user wants an item, sell it directly to him. Why not? You can make lotteries as an event, you can make mysteries as an event, mystery box as an event, no problem at all. But don't rely your whole monetization system on it. That's a mistake. As you said, as an add-on, as for an event for 2 weeks, or have mystery boxes as a supplementary monetization system, no problem. But as a main monetization system, you should not.
Okay, we have time for one last question.
Hi, so actually my question is about mystery boxes and a bit about concealing. So actually, some of the games that I like, for example, one of the games you've got up there, Puzzle and Dragons, right, does use mystery box as its main monetization mechanic. And I'm wondering about the feasibility of such things. So part of my question is, I think, are there fair ways to do that? And I think maybe I'm just guessing on my own that maybe there might be. Because the way I see some of the mystery boxes done, one of the things that you said was the game should reward skill and effort, right? Yeah. In these games, mostly actually you might grind for the mystery boxes, and if the player doesn't get what they want, then in a way, it's sort of fair, because if I, for example, can buy a very powerful dragon for $99.99 straight off, then that game turns into direct pay to win. Rather than
And you're perfectly right. I actually forgot to mention the exception to the rule. And the exception to the rule is what I call trading card games. Trading card games are essentially designed around the fact that the access to the rarity of the certain, let's say, monsters is part of the whole gameplay. Then suddenly it works if there are other rules you follow, you have to put into the game, are there as well. If the mystery box is only just for being random, this is not what you have. But in Puzzle and Dragons, if you need a rare monster, you can actually grind for that egg in specific dungeons if you know where it is.
Yeah.
And you get free, you can grind for the currency, you can actually buy the egg, so you get it, so you can increase the chance to actually get that stuff, and then you can pimp this one monster by grinding certain stuff. And essentially, Puzzle and Dragons is a trading card game. Let's say a trading egg game, how you can call that, I don't know, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But games like Hearthstone, the same thing. Hearthstone, trading card game, Magic the Gathering, all this kind of stuff. This is the big exception to the rule because it's not only the monetization mechanic on the mystery boxes, but it's the whole game evolving around that concept. And suddenly, at that point, yes, you can do that. That exception to the rule. Thank you for reminding me.
One really quick related question. So, yeah, actually those are some of my favorite genres, and I think maybe it helps build community. And the second question is about concealment as one of the things you highlighted. In some cases, might concealment also be useful for building community? Like say if it generates talk or users to create a wiki about, say, someone grinds for specific information and then they post that information for other users. Would that actually, in some cases, help?
I agree. If the information is discoverable in the game itself, but not every user has access to it yet, users start to build communities about the knowledge they have. You're totally right, you're fine. The problem is, this works on PC really well. On mobile, it doesn't work really well. Because for mobile, the web really doesn't exist, only apps exist. So you have to ask the user to write an app for the database for your game. I don't know, it's hard. I guess for mobile, it might be different.
All right, thanks.
Okay, thanks so much, Todd. So that's all the time we have. If you want to ask some questions, you can approach him after this talk. And now we have a coffee break. Coffee served outside, and our next talk starts in 10 minutes.